Hey there, Ryan Ledden here, President and Financial Advisor at Black Oak Asset Management here in the Atlanta area. Love to do these videos just to provide some education to you out there who have questions, who I've seen or what I've seen come up in client meetings that I've had. There's a lot of reoccurring questions, and sometimes you may assume that some people know certain things, whether it has to do again with paying houses off early or required minimum distributions or Roth conversions, or I mean, there's so many things that just cause confusion for a lot because there's a lot of information out there, but like what is the right situation for you? So I not going to give specific advice on these types of videos, but I'm trying to lay down kind of a framework and some education to people so they can make informed decisions on their own. Or if they want to reach out to us, that's great too. But today's topic is, what should I do with my old 401k? Most of you probably know, okay, I have a few options. Your first option is leave it where it's at. Generally speaking, and again, it all depends, but generally speaking, I would say not to leave it at your previous employer. Now, if it is a super great plan, lots of options, performance is done well. The internal fee structure is very light. You're not paying a whole lot of fees. Now, you do want to look at the plan summary, the plan document, to see what kind of internal expenses are in there, because a lot of times you have to dig a little bit when it comes to 401ks. Who am I paying for? The custodian, the record keeper, the TPA, maybe the advisory firm that's on the particular plan. So just unpack that. Know what your costs are. A lot of times it's not just the administrative fee that you see on your statement. That's a very, very, very small portion of it. A lot of times there's more to it than that. But again, you may be a part of a huge corporation that's got a big, robust plan. You got stock options in there and you're not sure what to do with those. So it may make sense to leave it where it's at. Your next option is to roll it into your new 401k plan. That's an option. And most of the time, the new 401k plan will help you with that rollover or transfer process from one employer sponsored plan where you used to be to your new employer sponsored plan, whatever type of plan that may be. Now, there's some plans that don't allow that. You just have to check with what your new plan is. And then your third option is to roll it to a rollover IRA or a rollover Roth. It depends on what type of money you have inside your 401k. Most of the time it's pre-tax dollars. So that would go to a rollover IRA or traditional IRA. If you have any Roth 401k contributions, that money needs to go to a Roth IRA. So make sure you keep those two separate. You don't want to commingle those funds because one has not been taxed yet and one has been taxed, and you want that money that has been taxed to grow tax-free for as long as possible. So again, when you look at all your options, basically three: keep it where it's at, the previous employer, roll it to your new employer, or roll it to an outside IRA that maybe you already have an IRA or maybe you already have that set up. But if you don't have a rollover IRA set up, you would need to do that so the money has a place to go to. Now, every old previous 401k, if you want to roll that money out to an IRA, each of them have different steps. Every custodian, every record keeper has a different process. Some will send the checks right to the custodian you're opening up the IRA to. Some of them will mail a check to you. If they mail a check to you, it's okay. Just make sure it's made out to the custodian where the rollover IRA is at. Again, whether that's a Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard, make sure it's made out to that custodian, and then FBO, for benefit of, then your name is written in there, and preferably put the account number in the memo line. That's always helpful for the custodian that is receiving the money. So again, if they send you the money, don't freak out. It's okay. As long as it's made out to that custodian, you're okay. Again, a lot of times when it goes from retirement plan to retirement plan, they will help you out with that process of who the new 401k is. Look at your cost. Look at the cost of the old plan, the new plan, and then doing it outside, either with an advisor or on your own. Usually if you do it on your own, the cheapest And cheap's not always the best thing to do, but the cheapest thing to do is just to roll it to an IRA and you manage it yourself. That's usually pretty easy to do. So there's options there. Look at your investment options. Most 401ks are very limited, but they do that for a reason. Doesn't make 401ks bad. If they give you unlimited amount of choices, most people freeze up and it's paralysis by analysis. You don't pick anything. You're not sure what to pick. And if you don't pick anything, it usually picks a target date fund for you. And a target date fund is basically based off of your age, and they go to 65. When do you turn 65? So if you see that year at the end of a target date fund, that's basically the roundabout time you're going to turn 65. So that's usually the default if you don't pick any of your own mutual fund options inside your retirement account. So again, look at your investment options, look at your cost. If you roll it out to an IRA and you're using an advisor, do you get financial planning with that as well? Like, is it just money management, or are they looking at the whole ball of wax, your whole financial picture? Because you definitely want to get that. You don't want to just work with a money manager. You want to get someone who's working with the entire picture of what you're doing. And again, Roth conversions, if you don't have a Roth option in your new 401k plan, you probably can't do Roth conversions. So Roth conversions are when you take money from a pre-tax IRA, take your hand in the cookie jar and dump it into the Roth. You can do that. You avoid penalties. You don't have to pay the early withdrawal 10% penalty. You do have to pay your federal and state tax rate. So be cognizant of that, of how much that's going to be. But you can take that money and move it over to a Roth IRA as long as it's in a traditional IRA. Now, if your new plan has a Roth option, you may be able to do internal Roth conversion. So again, check with your plan, see if they can do that. But usually they can. But again, check to make sure. So Roth conversions are you can definitely do those in an outside traditional IRA to a Roth. You may be able to do it into your new plan. Just depends. If you take distributions out of your 401k and you're of age 55, because in a 401k, it is 55. Once you roll it to an IRA, it's 59 and a half. So big age difference there. So make sure you know that. If you're 56, 57, and you need to take money out, leave it in the 401k. You avoid the 10% penalty. You got to pay federal and state tax rate if state tax rate applies, but leave it in there. If you're over 59 and a half, you avoid the 10% penalty. Now, if you take it directly out of a 401k and you're over 59 and a half or 55, you have a 20% mandatory withholding as far as taxes go. For some of you, that may be the perfect amount. Some of you that are in lower tax brackets, the 10 or 12% bracket, 20% is a lot that you're taking out of. So if it's in an IRA, you control the tax rate. If you want to only take out 10% for federal and 5% for state, or whatever that number looks like, you can control how much taxes are being taken out and sent to the federal government. So provides a little bit more flexibility in an IRA, not necessarily from an age standpoint. It's younger if it's in a 401k at age 55. So again, leave it alone, roll it into your new plan, or roll it to an IRA. Those are your three main choices, or you can just take the whole thing out as a distribution. Really wouldn't recommend that usually, but hey, everybody's situation is different. You may know that you have a 10% penalty and you got to pay federal and state tax rate because you're under the age of 55 or 59 and a half, depending on if it's in 401k or an IRA. You may take a distribution. Usually that's not the best choice, but hey, emergencies happen, things happen. So you may have to take money out of that account. So I guess that's your fourth option, is just take a distribution. Leave it, move it to your new 401k, roll it to an IRA/Roth IRA, or take a distribution out. So hopefully that helps. Again, there's a lot of more nuances to it, but hopefully that helps kind of delineate which options could potentially work best for you. So all the best, and we'll see you soon.